Interview questions are designed to trick you. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. Hiring managers, HR recruiters, they're all asking you questions that are designed to get at some behaviors and sometimes prompt you to slip up. In today's video, I'm going to give you all the different types of questions you can expect to encounter, why they're asked, and what you need to do to make sure you pass these very specific and challenging interview questions. Make sure you stick around to the end because every single one of them is used in most interviews. Let's go. Now, the first type of question you're going to get asked in your interview process is a negative prompt interview question. Now, what is that? That is a question designed to bait you into negativity. So a question like, why are you looking to leave your job? Or why did you leave your jobs in the past? That is an opportunity for you to go, I just don't like it there. I dislike my manager. And that can be true. It could be a bad culture. But if you say that, you are risking them assuming some of the negativity is due to you and not due to the place that you're working. I call this a negative prompt question. They are prompting you, baiting you to insert some negativity, but what you actually want to do is make it more about where you're going instead of where you're coming from. So you want to skip out on the potential to bring any negativity here, instead talk about positivity. And if you want to talk about reasons why you're leaving, you want to choose reasonable ones that anybody can relate to, and you don't want to be overly negative. You still want to have some positivity in there. So maybe there was an acquisition. Maybe the company is going through financial troubles and you're just concerned about future financial viability. Whatever it is, pick something reasonable that's not overly negative and you can avoid failing to this question. Now, the next type of question is an opportunity question. Now, what this is it is an opportunity for you to share something incredibly compelling and you do not want to squander it. So an example of this is, tell me something I wouldn't know from about you from your resume or your LinkedIn profile. Or it could be something like, what is your most significant career achievement? These are fantastic opportunities and you should prepare for them as such. One of the tips I always give people is to create an impact list. Now, an impact list is a list of all the most significant things you've accomplished at every single stop in your career. And everybody should go into every single interview they do with 3 to 4 stories they hope they can share with the hiring manager, the recruiter, or the HR person, where it demonstrates your ability to succeed at a high level or shares some of the things you've accomplished in the past. So an opportunity question is any question where they tee you up with a relatively open canvas of positive or influential or high impact things you can share about yourself. So make sure you're always going into every interview with 3 to 4 really strong stories to share, and seize these opportunities when they happen. Now, the next question I want to talk about is a type of question that is very, very common. It's a behavioral interview question. And this question is any question that starts with, tell me about a time when, or can you give me an example of a time when, and then they state a behavior or a situation like, tell me about a time when you had to give difficult feedback to a coworker. The reason they're asking this is because the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And giving, in this specific instance, giving difficult feedback is probably something you're going to have to do frequently in the role. So they're trying to figure out how you would handle something that you're going to have often in your new role by having you recount stories in past roles. This is incredibly common and they can be really challenging to answer. But I have a framework for you that's going to help you answer every single one of these questions for the rest of your career. It's the STAR technique: situation, task, action, result. Throw an L on the end for lesson when applicable. If you learn something from this situation, you want to make sure you include that at the end. If you've watched any of my videos, you've probably heard me talk about that before. But anytime they prompt you up with, tell me about a time when, or give me an example of a time when, use the STAR method. What was the situation you were in? What was the task you had to do? What was the specific action you took? What was the result of this? And then what did you learn? And if you do that, you're gonna crush this interview question. The next question is a very common question. It's easy to overlook, but it's a qualifier question. So it's a question like, tell me how many years experience you have with blank. And that blank is going to be something in most times, like in most interviews, it's gonna be critical to success on the job. So maybe it's how many years you have coding in Python, or how many years experience do you have in outside sales, or how many years of experience do you have in vendor management. Whatever it is, make sure you share the amount of years. Feel free to add in some additional things if there's more complexity and nuance in your experience in a way that they're going to understand, but also keep it in mind. Because if they asked you this question, it is critical to the function of the role. And for the rest of the interview process, you have an opportunity to talk about some of the things you've done that relate to the qualifier questions. You want to make sure you take advantage of it. The next type of question is research verification. This is a simple one, but it's basically just making sure that you actually did your research. So when they go, what do you know about my company? This seems like it might be kind of a dumb question. You're interviewing, you're interested. Why are they doing that? Well, they want to see how serious you are taking this interview. If you're just applying to hundreds of jobs or 100 jobs or whatever it is, this job might not be particularly important to you. Some of you are probably thinking, well, who cares, Ben? I need a job. That's why I'm applying. Right, totally. But I need you to think about it from their perspective, because every hiring manager, every recruiter, and every single HR person wants somebody who wants to work for their company. They want someone passionate about the work. And while maybe that's not super realistic, in most cases, it's true. That's what they want. And they want someone who's put in the work. So make sure you've done the research on the company and you come prepared to say, this is what I've learned. The next one, and this is the last one, and it is mission critical. If you do not get this right, you are not going to get the job, and it's an interest verification question. So this is a question like, why do you want to work for our company? Or what about this role interests you? And if you do not nail these questions, you are not going to get the job. Now, the simple formula for answering these questions well is using the 50-50 formula, or 50-50 answer. I made it up and I don't have like a super sweet name for it, but whenever they say, why do you want to work here, Ben? The first 50% of your answer needs to be about the company. Maybe the company is innovative. Maybe they have a great company culture. Maybe they do a great job doing something that matters to you. The second 50% needs to be about why the job specifically is a great fit for you and your skill set and your behavioral tendencies, and it's motivating and exciting for you at this stage in your career. If you can give both of those things, if you can give them that, you're going to absolutely crush this interview question. Hey, this video is done, but if you don't watch this one, you're like missing out on a big part of what you need to know. This right here is 10 things you never want to hear in a job interview. So maybe you're getting these questions, maybe you think it's going well, but if you start hearing some of these things, it probably means it's not going fantastic. But if you know what they are, maybe you have time to turn it around.